Hi Varsity Band, this is Eric Morong, and this is Varsity Band Spring Semester 2021. So I wanted to make this short video for you just to show you how to navigate our Blackboard site. This class is going to be an online asynchronous course this semester, same format that it was taught in the fall semester. I know we have a lot of returning faces from the fall, so it's pretty much going to be the same familiar format that you're used to, but for everyone that's never taken this online course before, I want to show you where some of the important pieces of information are that you're going to need to get through this course, where the resources are at, links to meetings, how to complete your assignments, basically everything you guys are going to need to see and to complete this course successfully is in Blackboard. It's all right here. So I'm going to take you through it starting now. The only announcement that's been on here, under announcements, is down here. The main takeaway from this announcement, guys, is to reach out to Mark Streeter if you need to rent an instrument. Hopefully you have an instrument already. If not, he's the one you want to reach out to. He takes care of renting out the instruments from the school. If you need any recommendations on gear, like what mouthpiece you should be using, reeds, cleaning swabs, valve oil, just let me know and I'm happy to recommend some good quality accessories that you'll need to play your instrument the right way. Assignments. This is where you're going to be going to most often. This is where you're going to complete your work through. They're all organized by week, starting with week 1, and I only have up till the 5th week up here right now. As I finish the weeks, I'll make sure to put the rest of them up there in case you like to work ahead or at least look ahead to see what's coming down the pike. We did not start at all the first week of the spring semester when everybody else did. The reason we wait a week is to give everybody ample time to get the instrument, acquire the accessories that they need, and just to let everyone let the dust settle a little bit. I know that first week's kind of crazy, so we like for everyone to take a breather, get some time in playing that new instrument, so when we're ready to start completing assignments, you're all ready to go for the next week. So we're going to starting on Monday, February 8th. I'm not going to take you through every week, just one to give you an idea of what every week's going to look like, because it's all pretty much the same assignments, just different keys and different pieces. Although this is an online asynchronous course, the only time we're ever going to have to meet together is going to be through Zoom, and it's for when we bring in our guest presenters and clinicians to come in and present clinics to you. And I'm very excited to bring in our first guest, back by popular demand, is Mickey Smith Jr. He came in and spoke with us in the fall semester, and it was incredibly inspirational. And we're lucky that he's going to be coming back again to present a new clinic to you guys. So that's going to be the first Wednesday that we start, Wednesday, February 10th at 6:30. Make sure you put that in your date book. We're only going to have 2, maybe 3 more of these. So 3 to 4 of these Zoom meetings total all semester. Those will be the only times that I ask you to be at a certain place at a certain time, and that's just on Zoom. And I'll make sure to put the rest of these meetings on the weekly assignments so you see when they're coming. I'll also send you an email to remind you either the day of or the day before. And here's the link to that Zoom meeting. You'll want to miss it, so make sure you guys are there. I look forward to meeting you guys for the first time at that meeting. Now, assignment-wise, every week you're going to have to play a scale, patterns on that scale, and then you're going to play through a band piece that's in the same key of the scale you were just working on. That's pretty much the gist of every week. You play through a scale, patterns, and then a band piece that's in that key. All of the scales and patterns are from the book Sound Innovations for Intermediate Concert Band. You don't need to buy the book because the PDFs are all right here. You can just print them out at your leisure. Then you're going to send me a video of yourself playing through the scale and its patterns. Now, when you play these, you have some accommodations you can make for yourself. You can play them at any tempo you want. There is no set minimum tempo. You can take certain notes down an octave if you need to. So if you're playing clarinet as your secondary and you're struggling to play over the break, or you're a brass player and you can't quite hit the higher partials yet, you can take some of those notes down an octave. And you could also record your videos in separate takes and just kind of trim and splice them into one video. In my videos, I play through the scale and all the patterns in one take. You don't have to do that if you're having trouble with endurance, or you get down to that last pattern and you make a mistake. This way you don't have to go all the way back to the beginning and try them again. So you're welcome to do that if you want as well. And then the piece you're going to play changes every week. It's going to be in the key of the scales, like I mentioned. The parts and the scores are available to you right here. That's how you can print off the music. I like putting the score in there just in case you need to hear a cue. Like maybe you don't know who comes in before you or after you or who plays with you. You might want to access the score if it helps you know when exactly you need to play. And for all of the pieces, you're going to play along with a play along track. You can download it right here or just listen to it off of Blackboard. There's two things you can do. You can either use headphones or earbuds so you can hear the backing track as you play, or you can use some external speakers, maybe like an amp, or just a Bluetooth speaker, so that way it's loud enough. Basically, we need you to be able to hear the play along track. And if you just use the built-in computer speakers or your laptop speakers, that's usually not loud enough, especially if you're playing like a brass instrument or saxophone. It's not going to be loud enough. This is all I used to play. And when you hear my videos, hopefully you'll find that you can hear a nice balance of the backing track and my instrument at the same time. What's most important though is that I hear you. So you want to make sure that the music isn't so loud that it's covering up your sound. So you might want to do a couple of tests and listen back to your performance, not just to assess yourself, but to make sure that the balance is good. Now, you can submit audio recordings if you prefer. However, I would encourage you to submit videos as opposed to audio. And the reason is, there's things I just can't diagnose or detect through an audio performance. Meaning, I can't see your embouchure, I can't look at your posture, I can't see how you're breathing, I can't look at your finger dexterity or technique or fluency. There's all these things that if I'm hearing something in your playing that you can improve on, I kind of have to guess as to what that may be. So if you send me a video, I can see all those things that I just mentioned. Now, if it puts you more at ease, nobody is going to see these videos. No one's going to see these videos except for me. You're not going to see each other's. The only time I might share it with someone is one of my colleagues who play your secondary instrument as their primary instrument. If I feel that maybe you're playing at such a high level that I can no longer give you valuable feedback because these are all secondaries to me. So I might share with them just to give you a little more constructive feedback so I don't just say good job every single week in my comments. So other than that, nobody is going to see these videos. They're not going to be shared on social media or any of that. And if it makes you feel more at ease, I go through all the assignments with you and I play all of these on secondary instruments. Percussion is my primary. When I put these videos on here, I am in no way proud of them. I simply put them up here just to kind of empathize with you a little bit so I can go through the assignments, and I like keeping my chops up, but I'm a little embarrassed by some of these. And I know the third week I even played clarinet on one of the pieces, and then I checked my roster and I found that I have at least two clarinet rock stars that signed up for the class. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna rip me apart. But that's okay, because this is all a judgment-free zone. This is a safe place to make mistakes. You do not need to be afraid. Nobody is expected to sound like a professional by the end of this course. All I'm looking for is growth and improvement. So when you submit the assignments, this is very important. In order to show that growth, you need to check my comments. You need to check my comments and check your grade after you send it to me. And I promise I'll be prompt with grading your assignments on time, so not too much time goes by in case for some reason I want you to do it again. But if you want to start showing growth, you have to make sure you understand like your priorities. Like I'll tell you what I think you should be working on after your first recording. Maybe it's you need to focus on your attacks. Maybe it's some habit that we need to break of your embouchure isn't firm enough. Maybe you're cutting off with your tongue. Maybe you're not articulating the right way. You want to make sure you find those things out now so that you don't do it again in the second week or the third week. Because if we do, then what do we develop? A bad habit. And we know that bad habits are really difficult to break. Any of you that have gone through an embouchure change when you entered Elmer's University know what I'm talking about. Those bad habits you developed started in beginning band, right? They started when you started playing that instrument. Probably. So that's why we want to eliminate any bad habits right off the bat. And please check my comments so you know what you need to do differently. That's very important. But other than that, guys, you will get an easy A for this course as long as you're submitting your work in full on time. You get an automatic A just for turning it in. And the only thing that I'm really looking for and that I want to see is growth throughout the semester. And it's pretty hard not to show growth when we're all playing a new instrument, you know what I mean? So you guys really have nothing to worry about. Just make sure you're turning in your work, you're checking my comments for the feedback, and you're turning in everything on time. And even then, guys, I know that life happens. If for some reason you have a busy weekend or you got too much going on, I will let you submit assignments to me late. As long as it's not like on a consistent basis or it's really late, but I get that life happens, so you'll get full credit even if you turn in an assignment it's a little bit late. I understand that this is still an unprecedented time, it's a pandemic, so you have nothing to worry about there either. Every assignment, the playing, the scales, patterns, and the piece is going to be due that Sunday. So by the end of that week. Now that doesn't mean you have to turn it in on Sunday, but I talked to some of the students last semester, and the majority of them liked that it was due on the weekend because they found that most of their classes had assignments due during the week, Monday through Friday. So they liked having a little bit of buffer on the weekend if they needed it to turn in their varsity band assignments. So we're going to go ahead and keep it that way. Again, not telling you have to turn things in on the weekend. You can turn it in during the week if you prefer, but you have a couple days buffer to turn it in by Sunday at midnight for all of your assignments. Syllabus, you can read this at your own time. The most important thing on there is my contact info. My cell phone number is on there, including my email. So if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to call me. You can text me if you need to, and my email is on there. If you need anything, don't ever hesitate to reach out to me. Information. You guys should be playing these warm-ups as soon as you get your instrument. These warm-ups are outstanding and they're instrument specific. If you play these warm-ups consistently, maybe almost every day if you can, just for a little bit, you will get much better, faster than if you don't. You'll see an exponential improvement in your playing if you can start working on these warm-ups. So start looking at these if you have your instrument. Fingering charts, if you need a fingering chart, I'm sure you have one. We all have the internet, but these are ones that I like. So you can print these out on your own if you need them. And then this is just from a really good book called Tuning for Wind Instruments. It's all about tendency tones. It goes through all the notes on every instrument and it says which ones are very sharp, very flat. But I want to make this very clear. This is not a fingering chart. So the main fingering chart you should be using are these. You're going to see a bunch of different alternate and covered fingerings in this book. And there was a student last semester that, because I didn't make this clear enough, he was using this as their primary fingering chart. So he was using all these weird covered alternate fingerings for the primary fingerings. These are simply for if you're playing these notes as like a long tone, you're sustaining these pitches and it's very sharp or very flat, they give you some alternate fingerings you can experiment with. So the main fingering charts are right there. Don't worry about the discussions. I'll make sure to include those in the weekly assignments. So this is it, guys. And the last thing I want to reiterate to all of you is this class is about the process, not the product. No one's expected to sound like a pro. Just do your best. Make sure you read my comments so you know what you need to do to keep improving your playing, and you'll get an A in this class, no problem. So thank you so much for registering for the course. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I can't wait to see all of you next week, Wednesday, February 10th. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next week.